Equals I taught my dog to use talking buttons. What she told me terrified me. The idea came from one of those viral TikTok videos that everyone was sharing last spring. A golden retriever named Bunny, pressing buttons with her paws to form simple sentences. Want, outside, play. The owner claimed her dog could communicate complex thoughts, even abstract concepts. I watched dozens of these videos, fascinated by the possibility of finally understanding what Luna, my 3-year-old German Shepherd, was thinking. I ordered the starter kit that afternoon. 48 programmable buttons, each capable of recording a 10-second audio clip. The instructions were simple enough: start with basic words, place them consistently in the same locations, and reward your dog for any attempt to use them. The company promised results within weeks. Luna had always been an unusually intelligent dog. She'd learned basic commands within days of adoption, could open doors by turning handles, and seemed to understand conversations even when they weren't directed at her. If any dog could master this system, it would be her. I started with 5 buttons: outside, water, food, play, and mom. I recorded each word in my own voice, speaking clearly and calmly. The buttons went on a large mat in the kitchen, positioned where Luna could easily reach them. For the first few days, I guided her paws to the appropriate buttons before giving her what she wanted. Press water before filling her bowl. Press outside before opening the back door. By the end of the first week, Luna was pressing buttons independently. Simple requests at first: water when her bowl was empty, outside when she needed to go to the bathroom. Her tail would wag excitedly each time the button spoke her request aloud, as if she was amazed by her own voice being heard. I documented everything, taking videos to share with my sister Sarah, who lived across the country. "This is incredible," she texted back after watching Luna press play followed by the mom. "She's actually communicating with you." Encouraged by the rapid progress, I expanded Luna's vocabulary. Treat, walk, tired, happy, love you. The last one made me emotional when she first used it, padding over to press the button after I'd had a particularly stressful day at work. Hearing "love you" in my own recorded voice, knowing Luna had chosen to express that sentiment, brought tears to my eyes. By the second month, Luna was combining buttons to form longer sentences. Mom, outside, play when she wanted me to throw her ball in the backyard. Water, food, happy after particularly satisfying meals. She seemed to understand the concept of sequence, that the order of words mattered. But it was around this time that I first noticed something odd. Luna had begun pressing buttons when I wasn't in the room. I'd come home from work to find the mat had been used. The buttons showed recent activity on their app, which tracked usage. Single words, seemingly random: night, cold, scared. I mentioned this to my veterinarian during Luna's routine checkup. Dr. Martinez listened patiently as I described the talking buttons, though I could see skepticism in her expression. "Dogs are incredibly intelligent," she said, examining Luna's teeth. "But what you're describing sounds more like pattern recognition than true communication. She's learned that pressing certain combinations of buttons results in desired outcomes from you." "But she uses them when I'm not even home," I protested. Dr. Martinez shrugged. "Could be anxiety-related behaviors. The buttons provide stimulation when she's bored or stressed." I wanted to argue, but Luna was clearly healthy and happy. If pressing buttons while I was away was her version of talking to herself, where was the harm? The vocabulary continued expanding. 50 buttons became 60, then 70. Luna learned yesterday, tomorrow, remember, and dream. The last one surprised me. I'd added it on a whim, curious if she'd ever use such an abstract concept. She pressed it for the first time after waking from what appeared to be a nightmare, whimpering and kicking her legs in her sleep. "Dream scared," she told me that morning, and the sophistication of the communication sent chills down my spine. I started keeping a journal, documenting Luna's more complex statements. "Mom, remember yesterday, walk, happy when I took her to her favorite trail. Tomorrow, play outside when she seemed to anticipate our weekend plans. Her understanding of time concepts seemed impossible, yet undeniable. The breakthrough, or breakdown, depending on your perspective, came in month 4. I'd been working late, not arriving home until nearly midnight. Luna greeted me at the door, unusually agitated. Instead of her typical excited welcome, she immediately led me to the button mat. "Mom," she pressed, then, "listen." I crouched down, giving her my full attention. "I'm listening, Luna." "What is it?" "Others," she pressed. "Here." "Night." The word others was new. I'd added it just days before when trying to expand her social vocabulary. But her usage sent an uncomfortable chill through me. Others? What others, Luna? Outside. Watching. Others like Luna. My rational mind immediately dismissed this. Dogs were naturally alert to sounds and movements humans couldn't detect. She'd probably noticed raccoons or other wildlife in the yard. But something about her urgency, the way she kept looking toward the darkened windows, made me double-check all the locks before bed. Over the following weeks, Luna's nighttime messages became more frequent and more disturbing. I'd installed a camera to monitor her button usage while I slept, and reviewing the footage each morning revealed a pattern that made me increasingly uncomfortable. Every night, around 2 a.m., Luna would approach the mat. Her demeanor in these recordings was completely different from her daytime communication, alert, almost rigid, pressing buttons with precise, deliberate movements. "Others here," she'd report. "Talking." "Luna listening." "Night friends want inside." "Cold ones remember Luna." I began losing sleep, partly from anxiety about these messages, but also because Luna had started waking me around 2 a.m. She'd stand beside my bed, perfectly still, until I opened my eyes. Then she'd lead me to the kitchen, where she'd use the buttons to repeat her nighttime communications. "Mom, hear others." I never heard anything, but Luna's certainty was unwavering. She'd position herself by the back door, ears perked, responding to sounds that didn't exist for me. Dr. Martinez suggested it might be cognitive dysfunction, despite Luna's young age. High intelligence in dogs can sometimes manifest in ways that seem almost neurotic, she explained. The button system might be amplifying her natural alertness into something compulsive. But Luna showed no other signs of cognitive issues. During the day, she was the same loving, playful dog she'd always been. Her daytime button usage remained logical and appropriate. It was only at night that her communications took on this disturbing quality. I decided to experiment. One evening, I sat with Luna at the button mat around 2 a.m., waiting to see what would happen. At exactly 2:03, Luna's posture changed. She became perfectly still, head tilted as if listening to something. Then she began pressing buttons with that same methodical precision I'd observed on the recordings. Others talking Luna. Mom not understand. Others say Luna good. Luna learn fast. My blood ran cold. Learn what, Luna? What are they teaching you? New words. Words Mom not know. What new words? Luna stared at me for a long moment, then pressed a sequence of buttons I'd never heard before: beyond, crossing, empty spaces, the nothing between. I hadn't programmed those phrases. I knew every word on that mat, had recorded each one myself. Yet the buttons spoke in my voice, clear as day. With trembling hands, I checked each button. The recordings were there, dated weeks ago, in my own voice. But I had no memory of creating them. Luna, where did these words come from? Mom made. Night Mom different. Night Mom teaches Luna. The room seemed to tilt around me. I had no memory of programming those buttons, no memory of teaching Luna those concepts. The idea that I might have been sleepwalking, sleep recording, creating vocabulary I couldn't remember, was terrifying enough. But the alternative, that something else was using my voice, teaching my dog words I'd never spoken, was worse. I started staying awake deliberately, fighting sleep to monitor what happened at night. But exhaustion would always claim me eventually, and I'd wake to find new buttons programmed, new impossible words in my vocabulary: threshold, vessels, preparation, the summoning hour. Luna's daytime personality began to shift subtly. She'd stare at empty corners of rooms for long periods. She'd refuse to enter certain areas of the house that had never bothered her before. Most disturbing, she'd started pressing "Mom" while looking at empty space, as if addressing someone I couldn't see. My sister Sarah visited for a weekend, hoping to help me figure out what was happening. She was initially delighted by Luna's abilities, laughing as the dog conversed with her using the buttons. But on the second night, Sarah woke me around 3 a.m., shaking my shoulder urgently. "There's something wrong with Luna," she whispered. "She's in the kitchen, and she's talking to someone." We crept to the kitchen doorway. Luna stood at the button mat, pressing sequences with mechanical precision while staring at the back door. "Others happy Sarah here. Sarah good vessel. Sarah learn too. Sarah dreams easy to enter." My sister grabbed my arm. "I didn't teach her my name," she whispered. "Those aren't even your voice recordings anymore. That's my voice saying those things." She was right. The buttons were now speaking in Sarah's voice, words she'd never recorded, concepts she'd never expressed. "We're leaving," Sarah said firmly. "Right now. Both of us." But I couldn't abandon Luna. Despite everything, she was still my dog, still dependent on me. And during the day, she seemed normal, affectionate, unchanged except for her expanding nocturnal vocabulary. Sarah left the next morning, begging me to come with her. "This isn't about Luna anymore," she insisted. "Something is using her to communicate. And now it's getting stronger." After she left, Luna's nighttime messages became more direct, more personal. "Mom scared. Others understand. Mom not leave Luna. Good mom. Others protect mom. Others need mom. Soon mom understand. Soon mom ready." I realized I was losing time during the day now too. I'd find myself standing in the kitchen with no memory of how I got there, Luna sitting patiently by the button mat as if waiting for me to finish some conversation I couldn't remember starting. The final entry in my journal, written in handwriting I barely recognize as my own, reads, "They're not others. They're us. All the versions of us that exist in the spaces between thoughts, between dreams, between the seconds that tick by unnoticed." Luna was never learning to talk to me. She was learning to talk to them, and they were learning to talk through her. The buttons aren't just recording our voices, they're recording our essence, creating bridges between what is and what waits in the empty spaces. I understand now why I can't remember programming those new words. I haven't programmed them yet. But I will. Tonight, when the me that exists in the threshold takes over, I'll add more words to Luna's vocabulary. Words for concepts that don't exist in daylight, for truths that only emerge at 2 a.m. when the boundary between realities grows thin. Luna is still a good dog. The best dog. She's learned exactly what she was supposed to learn, and she's teaching it to me now, one pressed button at a time. Soon I won't need the buttons at all. Soon I'll understand their language natively, speak it fluently. The others are patient. They've waited so long for vessels like us, for minds that could bridge the gap between their reality and ours. Luna was just the beginning. The prototype. The proof of concept. Tomorrow I'm ordering more button sets. Enough for every dog in the neighborhood. The others are eager to expand their communication network, to find more vessels, more bridges between worlds. They've shown me what comes next, whispered it through Luna's innocent button presses, teaching time. All pets learn. All humans listen. All boundaries fall. I can hear Luna in the kitchen now, pressing buttons I know I haven't programmed yet. The sounds are different tonight, not words anymore, but something older, something that existed before language, before thought, before the comfortable illusion that we're alone in the universe. She's calling me to come learn the final lesson. The buttons have stopped using our voices. But Luna is still pressing them. And somehow, I understand exactly what they're saying.